Hey, it's Caitlin with Backcountry Crochet. Go ahead and grab a project and let's crochet together. So I realized all of my crochet wearables are sweaters or like specific cardigans. Like I have a Halloween cardigan that I wear on really just Halloween. I have a Christmas one, which I can wear around the season. And I have a sweater that like I've got to wear all day, but I don't really have something that I could throw on, wear, take off as needed, which is really what I need as a teacher because my classroom starts out really cold, but then I get really warm by the end of the day. And I just need something that I could like throw on, be cute, be cozy, throw off once I get warm, and just kind of have on hand for any outfit and not just a specific aesthetic or a specific holiday. So in this video, I'm going to show you my process, I guess. I'm going to show you my, like, what I'm doing to make my own hexagon sweater. Now, I'm not going to be doing the really common, popular granny stitch or granny cluster hexagon sweater. Instead, I'm going to do my own variation just because I've done that before. I want to try something different, have just kind of a different feel for a sweater. So grab a project. Let's get started. So it's Saturday and I got up super early. I'm trying to get my body as ready as I can for the early wake up that I'm going to have to do for the school year once students come, because right now we're just in teacher training, and so it is not even 6 yet, and I'm sitting on the couch. I'm like, I might as well work on this sweater before my youngest comes in and starts pulling all my yarn apart. I have 3 of these star sun granny squares, so here are 2 of them. So I'm gonna work on another one of those and, you know, just kind of ease into my morning since I've got some time. Crocheted 1/2 of the hexagon sweater. I'm just starting out on the second half so far on the sleeve, and I have some of the, I decided to add granny stitch back panel, and I'm thinking about making granny square back panel, and I'm also thinking of making a hood out of the granny squares, because I think that's just kind of a fun little pop of color. Now this project has kind of changed since I first started it. I was just going to I decided I wanted it longer. I made these first and was going to make the sweater length to these, but I decided I wanted it to be a longer cardigan. That way I can have the cardigan kind of go longer and it'll look nicer for like leggings if I want to do that, just for more options with this cardigan. But I'm definitely going to need to make more of these. I might do, so I was just going to do 2 colors, but we might do, don't look at that, need to sew those in. But I like the little burst of sun on the gray palette I have for this sweater. So latest update, it is currently 5:30. I am still easing into my morning. I have to leave here at 6:45 for work, but that's kind of why this project is so great. The hexagon sweater is perfect for it. Like, it's repetitive. You feel like you're getting things done, but not boring repetitive. And you can do it when you don't have to count, which is big right now because I'm too tired to count this early. but let me switch views so you can see. So here is my first half of a sweater, and here is my second hexagon. I'm almost at the width of the sleeve for how wide I want the sleeve. So that's coming along really well. Here's how much yarn I have left from my first skein. So most of it went to this one. So I'm almost done, but I'm at the point where I'm starting to debate what to do with the second. Now, I did the center pole for the first skein, and let me tell you, big mistake. Big mistake. Because it then got all knotted. I can't leave it in one spot, so I had to move it around, and as this part got looser and looser, it got knotted and tangled, and it took forever to come undone. So I'm debating if I put it into a bunch of smaller skeins. That way, you know, they're workable sizes. I could do the center pole and it work, but that means I have to connect and have more ends to weave in, which I don't like to do. So I'm wondering if I just go from the outside. It's not as nice to work with because it kind of like, as you pull the yarn, it sometimes gets caught, and you know, a little bit more fuss than pulling from the center skein. But I'm not pulling from this. I'm not pulling from the center. Pull from this, rather the outside, or make it into individual cakes or smaller cakes that I could work with. So something I'm contemplating. So both the panels are done and at the same length. I just now need to kind of figure out if they're at the right length, because it looks like if I add one more granny square, it's gonna keep going. So I finished this one because I wasn't thinking and didn't measure them out. So I need to extend by just a little bit. So I'm gonna measure it. Let me hold the camera straight. About 2 more inches, I guess. About 2 inches. So then I'm gonna measure kind of how far on the pattern that would be. Oh, okay, so looking at this, that's gonna be roughly through. Looks like I can end on a double crochet row. Can do one more set of this section. Here's a super scientific way, and call it good. All right, so I extended it, and it's hard to tell how exact it's gonna be, but it's a little beyond the granny square, and that's okay, because I think when I kind of put it all together, I can kind of, when I do the, not the border, the edging, I can make it work. I'm okay with that. I don't think that's going to be too far off, and I'd rather end with the double crochet versus this skipping round. So I just need to do the same on the other side. Add this 5 rows over here. We're gonna call that good. Once we're there, I'm gonna need to make one more granny square, probably a blue one. I think this blue, purple, blue is a nice aesthetic that's going on. One done. So now I am gonna just join them and start the assembly process and then the sewing process. So close to being done. with this project. I am in the final stretch and I am so ready just to be done. It's this point in a project that I'm just like ready to call it done and move on. But the thing that's slowing me down is weaving in those ends. And it's not a lot, but it's my least favorite part. So I'm like, I've got to do it to do it right, but I just want to put it away and work on another project. But I've just got to sew in the ends, sew it together, and then do a ribbing and I'm done. Like, so close. But biggest obstacle, motivation for this. All right, end sewn in. Just need to connect the granny squares with the 2 panels. That part, the sewing part, is just, I just don't want to do it. I just want to crochet, but I just gotta kind of space it out, use some stitch markers to hold it together, and then I should be able to, just sew it up really quick and be in the final stretch. I am so close.
So this is not an exact science, which, is a little frustrating, but because I am using different patterns, so this was DK weight, this was worsted weight, I used different hook sizes, it's not going to line up perfectly. So I'm just kind of eyeballing as I go on whatever stitch I'm using. I'm going to call it the modified mattress. I don't really know what this stitch is called. I just kind of eyeballing it and getting it close to where I need in order for the stitches to roughly line up. It's going to be a little rough in points, but I really think once I get it done, it's going to be close enough and it'll hold them together so the error points won't be super noticeable.
So I have the first panel attached to the granny squares, and now I'm going to kind of line up the other half, and that way I can kind of do that, sorry, my dog. So I could do that modified mattress stitch in order to attach it again. So if we look at it, all right, if we look at it, I have it sewn on here. Now it wasn't an exact perfect lineup, but it was actually closer than I expected. I had to skip a stitch here and there in order to get it lined up, but really, I can't tell. I'm sure someone could, but for my level of care, I don't notice. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of look and see roughly like how many clusters is it for the first square, and then I'm gonna line that up for the other side just so I can kind of keep it close, and then I'll put little stitch markers to connect. Okay, I went through this cluster, I went through roughly that cluster, and then that way I can kind of hopefully get it lined up the same length on both sides, just so it's even and sits fairly level. Is there a better way to do this? Probably. Should I have blocked it before just so it could kind of lay a little more evenly? Yeah. Am I caring? No. I think it's going to turn out well and it's going to be great. I think the outcome's going to be very similar regardless, so I am just going to go my lazy way and call it good. close to being done. I have them all connected, which is great. I've made the call. I'm not going to be doing a hood. I was going to make a hood out of granny squares, more decorative than use because I don't use hoods very much. But because the back panel is made from worsted weight yarn, this is DK weight yarn. It's already pulling a little bit at the back, not bothersome, but it's pulling just a little. I think if I did a hood, it'd be too heavy and it would just be pulling back too much. I am just going to have to, sew in those ends, always. And I'm going to just add some type of ribbing or hem or edging, not really sure the proper term. I haven't decided if I'm just going to do a cuff like this, use that same method along the edges, or if I'm just going to do a couple rounds of single crochet, call it good. Maybe add a button. Hadn't considered buttons, maybe. But final stretch. So close to being done. So ready to be done because, my crochet list is growing. Can't move on to something else till this is completed. So final stretch. Let's see how long it's going to take before it is 100% complete. Plans to finish the sweater. I just have to sew on the ends and I'm done. But I ran a half marathon today and I'm tired. So we'll see when it gets done. We'll see when I make this video. I was like, I'm gonna finish it, do the reveal, finish editing the video. That way I could post it this week, but sitting took priority. So we'll see if I sit some more tonight or if I actually finish it, but to be finished soon. All right, here we are the following day. I did end up having enough energy to sew in ends, but that's about all the energy I had last night. Wasn't ready to film and do kind of like a final reveal. I was just pretty done with my day. Just needed to sit a bit, but it's done. Let me show you. All right, so here it is, my final finished sweater. I really like how the sleeves have worked out. It's like nice, just baggy enough for me. The sleeves go all the way down to my hands so I can grip them, which is my preferred way of wearing sweaters and sweatshirts. It's long enough so it can help make leggings a little bit nicer, a little bit classier, and I've got that nice little pop in the back. It feels very business in the front, party in the back, so I guess this is my mullet sweater, or mullet cardigan is the best way for me to describe it. But yeah, overall, very happy with how it turned out. It honestly worked out pretty quick. It took a little longer just because of some other projects and other life events going on that kind of slowed me down, but it's done and just in time for colder weather. We're starting to get those slightly cooler temperatures, so this is gonna come in handy. All right, there you have it. Thank you for joining me and thanks for crocheting with me today. I hope you enjoyed my kind of recap of my sun sweater or my sun cardigan. Hope to see you next time and yeah, have fun crocheting. Thanks everyone.